Hello, I'm Phil Ernest, and this is Palos Verdes.
Never lost rumor with Phil Ernest.
This is the Malaga Cove parking lot where you will park for this hike. I will leave the GPS coordinates and the address in the description below. So the hike I'm doing today is 6 miles. We'll walk along this grass right here. For about 5 minutes, we'll see a few baseball fields and continue walking past those and find the trail and continue on. Okay, so after walking the straight line, you continue to see this little hiking trail right here. Continue on up this way. We're less than 10 minutes into this hike right now. Carry on along this way. So now after coming up that way, turn onto this street here and continue going down for a while. We're going to be hiking along the city streets for a little bit of time before we hop on down. Okay, so that's the name of that street right there, Via Carta. Let's continue past this street here. And then kind of a busy little intersection here, and then walking past. And then continue walking up along this trail that leads you from the street. So you're walking along where all these shops are at. Continue going straight over here, and let's check out this fountain here that they got. Kind of a neat place for a photo op. This area here is the Malaga Cove Plaza on Palos Verdes Drive. And in the center of the plaza, you'll find the Neptune Fountain. So now we left the plaza, we're continuing down Palos Verdes Drive right here, and see those flags right there off in a distance, right there. That's where we're heading past those flags. And there's a closer view of those flags there. You'll see a trail. This is West Palos Verdes Drive still. Go down that trail, and this is where the fun really begins for this hike. Okay, so this is where you want to watch your step coming down here. It could be a little bit tricky, but if you have poles for balance, you'll be in great shape. After you go down that little steep embankment, you'll see a lot of beautiful green Rio along this way right now. We're about 20 minutes into this hike from when we first started. Check out this beautiful little creek here along this way as we make our way through this area. Again, keeping a close eye watching your footing so you don't fall into the water here. And around this way. An important point worth mentioning, the reason there's so many people on this trail is because it's with a big hiking group. Normally, not very many people on this trail at all. So the whole trick to this is you feel like you're doing real hiking as you go navigate yourself through a creek and hopping over some tree logs and back on the trail. So a variety of fun little things to do here on this trail. There's the creek right there. Pretty nice. And after going through all that creek, now we start to go up. This hike has a 700-foot elevation gain. As you can see, it's not too much of a gain on this hike. It's different parts of it here going up. Okay, so we're now 30 minutes into this hike, following this trail, continuing along this way. Again, this hike elevation is 700. It's a 6 mile total of a hike with a loop hike, as you can see here, going through this nice little trail en route. Look at this old tree here. So when you see this tree, turn right and go down this trail. That big old tree right there is your, don't continue going that way. Turn right over here. As I pan the camera back, there is a view of Palos Verdes Drive right there. So no sooner did you turn, there's that old tree there. You turned right, if you remember, and then you're gonna make another right turn over here. Look at that, down this way, and continue on down this trail. So there are some little tricky twists and turns to this hike that you wanna make sure you're paying attention to so you don't get lost. So now, right after that turn, when you turn right, it's going to be pretty steep going down. So if you have poles, I highly recommend bringing them and using them, if nothing more for just balance, you don't slip and fall. This trail's pretty well maintained though. So this is pretty neat as you continue to hike along these winding trails. You see a big highway above. We'll go underneath that, continue along this trail. So a whole lot of really cool twists and turns and little obstacles on this hike that I really didn't anticipate. So it's a good thing that I came prepared, bringing my poles. Right after you go under that bridge, take the first turn off and go this way. Don't continue going up. Continue going down, turn a right, and then you'll go on up to where those people are at right there. So after winding through that area and come on up, which we're about 40 minutes into this hike, looks like this is where they'll stop and take a little break right here for a few minutes before carrying on. Right up over here. Okay, so after the break, turn that corner and continue on up this way. Okay, so now we're 1 hour into this hike here. Still, this is pretty neat. We're having a lot of little patches of shade and beautiful green trail along this way. So now I've been hiking for an hour and 15 minutes, and you come upon this trail right here. Check out this view right here. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. This is what you hike for. Views like that on a beautiful clear day in Southern California. You can't beat that. Wow, look at that. There's downtown LA off in the distance, and now we're going to watch our footing as we go down here. Make sure you don't slip and fall. If you have poles, use them. For balance alone, they're worth their weight in gold. Look at that. Oh, that wasn't that bad. Continuing again along this little shady path, and this is a beautiful day for hiking. See what else we can find right here. Check this out. Wow, look at that coastline. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. You know you're doing something right. Okay, so check this out. That's where we parked down there. So we're coming upon, you can now see this great big huge loop of a hike that we've done as we're heading on back down this way. That's the baseball field that we passed up earlier on the hike. And check out this view, absolutely breathtaking. And here you can fully appreciate the view, the beauty down below of this hike. And that's where we parked the car at to start the hike. We went down that way, cut through the baseball field, went up there, turned around and went through the city and came all the way around this way. So you can kind of see the big huge loop that we just did there in the past couple of hours in this hike. And this is pretty neat. After hiking that whole way, now we come down this way and we're on the going through the city streets here. It looks like we're going to go through some residential housing as we come down into the fire road here. So after coming down that little way, we're now walking through the residential, through the city street here. So we just came up this area and now we're going to walk up over this way. So this hiking adventure is far from over. Let's make our way up through this little trail and see what else we got going. Okay, so walking up this street here as we've been doing, we now suddenly come upon this area over here where we're going to turn down and continue on this way. Here's a nice little trail, as you can see, well-defined trail down towards the beach area. This is absolutely a beautiful day. Temperature's about 75 degrees and sunny, and you couldn't ask for a better day. And this trail looks very similar to the trails that we've been on throughout this hike. A lot of twists and turns, shade, little sunny spots as we're going down, slowly descend down. So as we get closer to the beach, check out that. Look at that view right there with a winding road, S-curve right down there, and then hiking in the shade this whole way down to the beach area right here. This is absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend doing this trail. If you can't do the whole thing, do parts of it. You'll be very happy that you did. So the reason this hike looks a little chaotic, turn here, go down this city street, turn there, go up this way, is because it's a bunch of little individual trails that have been mended together to make this one big loop to bring it to you. So that is the area over there where we came in and parked at. So now we've come down that hill this way and then continuing on over here. And there's part of the trail, which you see. Look at that. That's the beach I believe we're going down to as we continue winding through on this trail up here. Okay, so now we've hiked, left that little area there, going along this trail right here. This is Apsley Trail as we head toward the beach. So now, looks like we've come to the end of this winding little area, and then we're going to hit the city now. It looks like we're going to cross the street and go over to the beach at this point. That's the trail we just came from. This is Palos Verdes Drive. We will cross Palos Verdes Drive. We're on Apsley Road, and we'll continue on down Apsley Road for about 100 yards. Be very careful crossing on Palos Verdes Drive. Cars do come very fast. After turning right off of Apsley Road, we're now on Chelsea Road, continuing toward Paseo del Mar toward the beach. There's a little glimpse here walking along the beach area. And this road is Paseo del Mar as we continue walking toward the beach. Here's the beautiful scenery down below. Check that out, coastline from here. Look at that. So after walking on Paseo del Mar for about 10 minutes, we're now going to cut through this grass and head straight toward the beach. This part of the hike is not for the faint of heart. So this hike has plenty of twists and turns on it as we follow the group down that way and across over there. And this is where stability comes into play when you're going down something like this. See, you want to keep, if you have poles, use them. Good foot traction, very important. And watch Ann here. She knows, keep her poles down, secure, wider foot traction. This is classic way how to do it so you don't fall. And then easy does it. That's the way to scale down a hill safely. Keeping those poles, using those poles to hold you up. Using those poles properly to hold you up. A little bit longer length helps, and some good quality footing, shoes, and that's it. See? Can scale through anything just with a little bit of perseverance like that. See, and if you don't have that, you're going to wind up sliding down like that. So as you can see, this is the challenging part of this hike coming down here. Having good footing is very important. Keeping your stability so you don't fall and break your neck. And then you can go down this way. So looks like the worst is behind us so far in this hike here. When going down these hills, uncertainty, it's best to keep a wide stance and even sometimes put the weight on your back leg and have a lead leg. See how she's doing it, having her leg, the right leg to the front, and then moving the poles to guide herself easily down so she doesn't fall. So that's where we just came down from, all that way, steep mountain, and we finally made it down to the beach. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Taking the fact you just did all of that, and then we're going to end this hike by going back up that trail and back to the parking lot to cover the 6 miles and 700-foot elevation gain. The name of this beach is Flat Rock Beach, and we're going to take the Bluff Cove Trail all the way on up to the top of Paseo del Mar. The going up way, very easy compared to the challenging way of going down, but you know what? It all goes into a day of hiking on these trails where you never know what you might encounter. And this is one more look at the beautiful coastline here in Palos Verdes. Feast your eyes, check that out. Absolutely gorgeous. And so after walking up for about 15 minutes, you now arrive up here and check out what you just did, coming from back there all the way up. Once you've reached the end of Bluff Cove Trail, turn left, continue walking on Paseo del Mar for about 3/4 of a mile until you reach the parking lot where you started from. Okay, so that will more than do it for this hike. It's 6 miles, 700-foot gain along Palos Verdes' beautiful coastline. As you saw, it is a huge loop hike with a whole lot of twists and turns. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more of my hiking videos, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.
Never lost Roma with Phil.